Hello and welcome back. My name is Fake Fairytale and this is the second video in the sewer map series. Now, last video we finished up with the walls and the rooms and their general layout. We added the doors, and I think for this video I would like to focus on all the sidewalks over here and the water sections, just to make sure that we've got that covered. And after that we'll continue beautifying the walls, adding some doors here and there, and like the secret doors over here. So without further ado, let's find a texture that we want to use as a pathway as a walkway basically. So we'll go to the pattern shape tools, and I want it to be sort of brown and in line with the walls so that it aligns well. It shouldn't be too pretty because, well, we're in the sewers, and I actually think that the ones that Tooth picked are actually maybe a bit too neat for sewers. Like, these look quite grimy, even though they're relatively old and are much darker than the walls. So that might be an issue. However, can we lighten them up? No, I don't think we can. If we select it, you can change the color of your patterns, in case you didn't know, over here by going to the bottom left and change the color. You can make them red or brown, or but unfortunately you can't really make them any brighter than they are. So we'll need to find something that matches the walls ever so slightly more than this currently, which basically these work out really well. But we need no, that could work. But still, that's quite neat. Let me just quickly go through this and let you guys know what I come up with. Okay, and here we are again. Now, with the limitations that you have in Dungeondraft, I think I'm gonna go for this set of tiles. So you have the regular wall, you have this kind of old, but it looks really decent in my opinion, square tile set, and we have a few nice variations that we're going to be able to combine with one another. I tried recoloring some of the other ones over here to match more closely to the wall and the curb, but unfortunately that was, well, very hard to achieve. I'm not sure if that will look better than making use of these ones over here. Unfortunately, I don't think you have anything that better suits the gross and grimy than these kind of tiles. I see a lot of different tiles that come really close but just not quite hit the mark, which is unfortunate. There are like a few of the better looking ones which are actually just more neat and cleaner. They just, like, the color is perfect, but they're just too, well, in too good of a shape to be a tile in the sewer. So I think we're gonna keep with these darker ones, and we're going to see if maybe at some point, if we don't have too much weird artifacting. You do have some over here, however we can try and fix that up with some pillars, that we maybe turn the walls a bit darker to match more closely to the tiles that are on the floor, but we'll see that in the future. So first we're going to lay out the tile work, make sure it's all covered. But this, again, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because this is just tracing all the tiles that we have here. And Oh, I do see that he used it in here, but maybe we'll lay a wooden floor instead to make sure that it's that there's some variation in here. Well, I'll just quickly going to lay out all these tiles and then I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. Alright, and we're back everyone. I have laid out all the tile work throughout the sewer system. I decided to go for a bit of a fancier tile here in the captain's quarters. Some of the old and grimy tiles here in the prison section and the guard room. And I really like the flagstone idea that that Tooth put in here. So I decided to keep that as is, and I think with the little wood elements this will look really nicely at the end. And I decided to switch these areas for wood, also just to break up kind of the feel of the room, because otherwise we'll have stone everywhere, and this way we have well, a little bit of everything sprinkled around the room. I've also decided to, I'll keep the general layout of each room. However, I will put in one piece of furniture to indicate what each room is so that it still serves the same purpose. However, I'm going to do the design of the rooms by myself. So I'll just know this is a guard room, this is a bedroom, whatever. And I'll do the rest of the furniture and the style of each room from my own point of view. And that to make sure that we're just not exactly copying the map that the Tooth made. And I think a little bit of variation will be great to see, and also ensures that I can stay within my own style of decorating, which I like a lot myself. So that will be more fun for me as well. So next up are the curbs, and that's something that just takes a moment. I'll do that on fast forward as well. I do want to address a few minor changes that I've made. I've moved these two walls up to the side a little bit to make sure that this pathway right here is wide enough. And I did the same thing all the way over here in the secret hallway. I might still go for some minor adjustments over here, because this is very thin and it needs a bit more width, but that may be something I do when we're also filling in the void spaces in the middle. But these negative spaces, as you call it, I'd like to go for just black with some kind of soft overflowing shadow pathway on the side. I think that looks better than the kind of dirt that was used in the original. That's also just personal preference, and it also draws the focus really much to the sewer system itself and the colors, as the rest is black and well, just not interesting to look at in general. So next up, I'll continue with the curbs, make sure that they're all in here, and I'll place all the pieces of furniture everywhere. Might need to consult the original map for that. And after that, I'll quickly go over how I go about filling in those negative spaces, and then we'll fill in those negative spaces as well. So expect this video won't be that much of me talking about things, but that's also because we're just laying the groundwork for the entire sewer system, and it's kind of repetitive. On a little side note though, that just popped into my head, These kind of tiles, we're going to spend some time to make them look good or better than they are, because it's quite repetitive right now. But we'll use a different pattern on top of it, like shadows and the more cracked tiles. And we're going to decorate this entirely, and that's going to take a while, but when we get there, I'll dive into it. I'm not sure in which video we're going to address that, but I like working from the bottom up. So when the general layout is done and the water is added, we'll probably go into detailing of the floor to make sure and fixing up all those wall pieces everywhere. So let me dive right in the pathways for the curbs, and I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. Okay, and we're back, folks. I have added the curbs everywhere and it's already starting to look kind of nice. And I also added in the water already, just to show you guys the difference and what I just did. I picked one of the newer textures for the water instead of the old one that was used in the previous map. And I wanted to show you, I made some tiny coloration differences because I want the water to look really murky and gross. It's not gonna be see-through. I mean, it looks horrible. You don't want to swim in it. It's sewers. So I picked a color that was just as bright but a bit more to orangey brown-ish. And the end result looks quite good. It's very dark. It's very murky. We'll be adding some lighter colored waves and effects in there, so that will break up the flat color that it has right now, and with shadows, everything added, I think it will look great. So I will just add that to everything by copy pasting the hex code in here, make sure that everything maintains the same color. And I also remember that I said in previous video that I will be adding something on the right hand side here. I'm going to save that for another video. I think right now I first want to get this general layout kinda and feeling kinda done. There we go, last bits and the one up here. Perfect. And we take the grid off, and this is already starting to look good. I think I will save that for maybe the next video when we're adding in the negative space colors as well, because then we can adjust the walls, add in the space on the right hand side, maybe see if we can find something like a crack in the wall that we could use as a secret space to create some kind of maybe a hobo lives here, somebody who is less fortunate and has found a way to you know, survive in the sewers, so that we have something interesting to look at the bottom side as well. And I'm quickly going to add the height difference in here as well. There has to be some kind of curb. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the same curb as this one or maybe a different one, but I'll be adding that in there in between videos because I don't think it will be that. I'll show you the end result when it's done. So I think that is it for now, folks. I'm not entirely sure how long the video will be because we're fast forwarding some stuff as well. Nevertheless, we'll be continuing on with this map, so I'll be certain to see you in another video. If you enjoyed this series, please hit the like, favorite and subscribe button to help me get my videos out there. And I hope to see you again in the next video.